Adult adults are alcoholics. And why don't you give the people the quote you just gave me, James?
Well, I said my Kristen's and my favorite parents from afar are the parents who are at a brewery and their child's in a stroller while they're enjoying a delicious beer on draft. And we discussed this. I'm like, oh, like, love them. Never talk to them. Don't know them, but they're. I don't know the wording, but I don't want to say not letting their kid get in the way because that's the wrong way to word it. But they're living life on their terms, and they have a child. They're just adapting.
And I just think humans are innately alcoholics, some more than others. And we just went to the park. It just got warm enough. So we go to the park that we like going to on Wednesdays or whatever. And I had talked about it on the show, how I just open carry now, not a gun, an alcoholic beverage. That's my open carry. Okay. And I don't even put it. That's when my girlfriend first told me that, yeah, anybody who's holding a Yeti cup, not in the morning, there's alcohol in it. And it blew my mind. So now I just go around like panning for this.
100%.
And there were a couple of white girls right in front of us on some blanket with their Yeti cups. And I was like trying to peek over the top, see if I could. And I was open carrying again. I don't even care anymore. Hopefully the adults will, as long as you're behaving yourself.
Listen, I had to meet my realtor. Like we're like in a development. I had to meet the realtor and the project manager like away from my house. So this was at 10:30 in the morning. On Tuesday, I showed up with 2 covered coffee mugs and mimosas inside.
All right. So I guess it's in the Yeti at all time. Coffee is never in the Yeti anymore, is what you're trying to say?
No, I'm pretty sure coffee is the worst beverage for a Yeti. At least I drink my coffee as fast as humanly possible. I don't need to keep it at temperature. I'm just going to smash it. So that's just my personal preference. And I probably need to nurse a beer more than nurse a coffee. So if I start smashing beers, trouble's going to happen.
Yeah, there's some collateral damage involved.
So Kristen works in retail, and a woman walked in where she was, and she had a coffee cup. And Kristen says, "Is there wine in there?" She's like, "Yeah." Kristen's like, "I love that. I love that." She's out at the mall shopping with wine in a coffee cup.
I wish I'd have known this earlier.
I take an Uber. I bring a road soda.
I'm gonna open carry in the mall.
Yeah.
It's not like I have a fifth of Jameson in my hand, fifth of proper 12. It's just, a 12-ounce can or bottle of some kind.
They need to start white labeling beer. And you can just print your own label and put it on there. Like Paul's Cola. But it's really a tall boy of some delicious IPA at 7.4%.
Oh my God, my mouth is watering right now. How can I?
Dude,
quit pandering to the crowd.
I drink less strong beers to try to just pace myself, especially on weekends or if I have more drinking time ahead of me.
Yes, then it changes for me.
But your words were resonating with me. Like they're living inside of me. And I'm drinking this 4.9%, and I'm just like, babe, it's not doing it for me. It's not. And I'm like, do you think I can get like a 7 something percenter and drink it at an appropriate pace? So it's like drinking a 4.9%, but a little bit faster. So we went to the store. I got a 15 pack of 4.9% beer in the fridge, but then I had to go to the store and I got some 7.2% beer to replace it. And it was much more enjoyable, man. It's my IPA sweet spot as well. We always discuss this.
Alcohol. And now we're opening the show with it. We're just like, let's just get it out of the way. And it's good to complement those two percentages. When you're drinking a beer between whatever 3 something and 5%, it's like a hill, and you gradually just roll down the hill. Once you get above 7%, it's a cliff. One beer difference could be the difference between you having a great night and you being a mass shooter. It's
100%.
Or waking up, like, what happened? And they're like, oh, you drove your motorcycle on the wrong way in the freeway and hit a car, but ramped up it, did a flip and landed on your wheels. And you're like, damn.
And usually thoughts like this accompany it. Like, oh man, I was having so much fun until it's like, oh, like,
I lost my arm.
What happened to him? He was fine 5 minutes ago. Oh no, that extra beer. Like those are the kinds of questions that surround when you're dabbling in 7% and above. Because at 1 minute, you are riding high, you're the life of the party. The next, you are just a fucking derailed train speeding down a hill.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was having a great time dancing 5 minutes ago. Now he's a monk dousing himself in gasoline, protesting the Vietnam War. Like, that's just, and plus I'm kind of like bipolar also, so it just is amplified.
Let's say the monk Vietnam War sounds a little more individualized. That's probably a smaller segment of the population.
Whatever your protest is, man, whatever your cause is. Okay.
Well, it just like political arguments come up a little bit. You start just or just discussions even. Usually when we discuss politics, it's always very balanced and neutral and like, but like you start getting like into those more layered discussions that if you're around the wrong crowd could create like a nasty argument, but if you're around friends, they're fine. But yeah, that's
when guys start discussing politics drunk, it usually is, you don't have a stance. You just try to shit on the other guy's stance and try to break up his logic. That's what guys do. They're like, I ain't even going to say anything. I just can't wait for him to say something. I don't even care if I agree with it. Let's double team him and bring him down. Let's change his political stance tonight.
This is the ultimate move in a discussion or an argument, is whether you agree or disagree, just keep asking that person questions to press them. You will unravel that person 95% of the time. And no matter, like, also on that same percentage, they're going to think that you disagree with them. Even if you don't, just ask them questions, press him or her, and you will unravel that person at a high percentage.
I have this concept that if you have, those are like subjective things that even if you question objective reality enough, it will fall through your hands. Like if there isn't an objective reality, how could someone's point actually stand up? And then that just gets a little philosophical, and then you start discussing the meaning of life, and then you get hammered and forget about it, and then end up with a DUI.
And usually I say, man, I hope I didn't get stupid last night. And then if you get too drunk, you got to text the friends. Hey, I had a blast last night. Sorry, I got too drunk. Like I experienced that at the last Usman Masvidal fight. I'm like, damn, I got a little too hammered last night.
You know what I need to do is, if I got too hammered and wake up feeling terrible, I just Venmo everyone $50 each. And then they send me back, apology accepted. It's all good.
I wonder if that like would reverse classic condition you and prevent getting too hammered. You're like, shit, man, there's 8 people here tonight. $400. All right. I'm bringing all day IPA here, 4.7%.
I'm drinking old duels. Are you kidding me?
That's the first question when you're deciding beer. It's like, how many people are coming to this party tonight? 2 people? All right. Get the 7.8%er. 12 people? I'm going Miller Lite. I'm going super low ABV, or I'm doing non-alcoholic. Maybe I'm just doing drugs instead.
I just can't have that many friends. People who are listening for the first time are thinking, wow, this is a great MMA show. I can't wait to slam it. Did you see the highlights of Demetrius Johnson or Eddie Alvarez?
Yes. Both.
You would think I was devastated or anything, but Demetrius, I didn't care kind of what happened to him from here on out, whether it was 135, a different organization, whatever it was, he did what he did. And I'm okay with this.
So here's where the less mentally evolved fans will chime in and, say Moraes is the greatest ever. But you're talking about a 34-year-old Demetrius. And it is what it is, man. Like, no one, like, even Dominic Reyes fighting like John Jones closely. Do we think that would have happened 8 years ago? No. Everyone, has the same trajectory in their career, no matter what sport it is, unless you're LeBron James in basketball. Then you just keep going up forever. But most, they kind of come up, they reach their peak, and they kind of come down. Literally sorry to bore you, no spoiler here, but that is the trajectory of every athlete in the history of professional sports.
And then once the greatest ever is beaten, the person who beat him, even if it was at 50 years of age, is now the greatest ever.
100% accurate. Let me ask you though, can knee downed opponents in one?
Yes. The irony of the two fights is that Demetrius gets blasted with a knee and it's legal. And then Alvarez gets disqualified for somewhat rabbit punching the back of the guy's head. But it is what it is. There's always something to bitch about. There's always a technicality. There is no perfect fine lines like a damn football field, even though we can get into like what constitutes a catch. It's funny to me. It's kind of entertaining. I'm glad something like that happened.
It's ironic. So I do like we've discussed this. Opponents looking at you, they're coherent, they can see you, and they touch the ground now that you can't hit them with the knee.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, that doesn't make sense to me. So I prefer just open it up. Like the opponent should defend him or herself at all times, no matter what position they're in. If they're not, bad on them. And if you can capitalize on it, good for you. I support this fully.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then once it comes time, whatever the rules are, you have to follow them, even if you don't agree with them. That's called civilization or society.
This is correct. Yeah, and pretty much every rule is there for the most. Well, never mind. I won't go down this rabbit hole.
Well,
we already customized the start.
We always have to there's other great fighters in other organizations. That's what I'm starting to see a lot of this week. And I think it's because of Pitbull and not in Miami, in Bellator. There are great fighters in other organizations, but in its entirety as a whole, the UFC is the leader in MMA.
And it comes down to depth.
Yes.
Like,
that champion isn't fighting world beaters every single time.
Yeah. People who have shitty days most of the time do have great days occasionally. Just not the norm. Or like a pitcher can get a baseball hitter out, but if it's the greatest hitter ever, that hitter is going to come out on top more times than not, most likely. Like I was like a shitty baseball pitcher can get a great hitter out, but over the long period of time, the law of average is going to win out here, and the more skilled fighter or batter will win out. Just like the UFC, like having more depth puts you in danger a lot more frequently than having less depth. It's the way that it works.
And you could be great and in the other organization, but it's hard to tell if you're not challenged by that depth on a long-term basis.
Yeah.
That's what I
And
think.
with MMA becoming so much more popular and people going into it without doing other martial arts first, perhaps the gap will close in talent. It's possible, but the gap's not going to close in terms of market share. I'll tell you that much.
All right. Rank these 6 fight announcements and denouncements.
With pleasure.
Stephen Thompson versus Gilbert Burns.
All right, all right.
Korean
Should be some
Zombie
great trash
versus
talk up to that fight.
yeah. Korean Zombie versus Dan Hige Ige.
That's good.
Demian Maia versus Bilal Muhammad.
All right, getting back in there, getting back on the horse. What is
Cy-
that fight? His eye's good to go? Guess so, huh? Man, that eye looked brutal.
Yeah.
Just shows how resilient the body is.
Ciryl Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Conor McGregor versus Poirier 3. And Volkanovski and Ortega coach the Ultimate Fighter.
That's number 6.
Why is that?
Well, we had them scheduled to fight. COVID postponed for a year. When is the Ultimate Fighter? When does it end? When is the fight? How long's the fucking postponement?
When the fight is scheduled, it's, you know, you're going to have it. And then like the week of, it's canceled. And then you put it as the Ultimate Fighter. It's not the Ultimate Fighter's first choice. So you're like, what's going on here? It was like by default, convenience. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me from a fan perspective, but maybe they're trying to get these two guys some more shine, some more airtime,
Maybe.
promote the division.
And now I'm worried about Volkanovski. For those who don't know, he's one of my top fighters. It seems like the effects of COVID were messing with him. And I don't know what kind of, if it's going to hang around a little bit, this long hauler deal. I don't know, but it seems like it wasn't easy for him. And he was like, man, I'm wondering how people who are weaker than me, how they're able to handle it. Because he's thinking like, I'm a tough son of a bitch. And they sitting there, his ego's kind of hit, sitting in that hotel room for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm worried for my baby, but I get worried for all my favorite fighters, like a mother.
So he was saying like the mental aspect of it being quarantined for 2 weeks.
No, I kind of added that. He was just saying, I can't believe how much it affected me with my breathing and everything. I could imagine the physical effect it would have on people who weren't as in shape as me.
See, now my theory is that people who are in greater shape and more fine-tuned machines will recognize any deviation from the norm at a higher rate than the average dude who's 10 pounds overweight and whatever.
That is true. And I think there's 2 additional points. And one is that when you are training all the time and you're cutting weight and doing all this, it's actually going to stress your body and and your immune system and make it more susceptible to things. The other part could be that on a different point could be if you're a high level athlete and you have a stronger immune system, sometimes that immune response can really do you in. I feel like that was a big thing with the Spanish flu, but I don't even want to make this a COVID discussion because that's all I see on my TV all day.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
So I watch stand-up comedy now.
I know Miles Garrett said the same thing though. The Browns defensive end, badass player.
I love him, and I love his body.
Took him months to get back to. He was doing breathing machine on the sideline, but that guy's a monster. Like
with
he's
his shirt off,
specimen. I think he's one of the. I think there's 4 NFL players who are so large up top they don't wear shoulder pads.
Oh, okay. I could see that. I would watch a video of him on a breathing machine with his shirt off, just kind of in the background, just something to lighten the mood, like birds chirping, some kind of.
Yeah, like to help you meditate or like do some focus work.
Yeah, that
I'm
guy's
into it, man.
ridiculous.
That's like a Big Brother type show, but just Miles Garrett shirtless breathing in the background. Listen, I would tune to it frequently for many reasons, one of which the absurdity of it.
All right, so number 6 is Volkanovski Ortega, Coach the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, and that's pure fan perspective.
In the back of my head, I was always thinking possibly it could be Masvidal Colby because of all the drama. But then once Masvidal and Usman got scheduled, I was like, who knows what happens? And then I didn't really think about it too much.
I mean, Jorge deserves this title shot, so it makes sense that this is the matchup, just due to his recent resume and all the top 10 wins that he has over the past year. So, okay, back to the rankings.
I can't tell what part is sarcasm and what part isn't. I can imagine the listeners now. I'm not even in on the joke anymore. But whatever, go to the next one.
No, someone had pointed out how his recent resume being
Brother Mark, let's just be real. Brother Mark loves calling Masvidal and Nate Diaz journeymen. I don't even argue that the journeyman argument isn't one I really get attached to. I try to learn from it and define it. You help me. And this is not my fight.
Masvidal's kind of actually reached Nick Diaz level.
Nick or Nate?
Nick.
Oh.
Because Nick could probably he's probably one fight from a title shot right now. He is.
And he was from a different era.
Fucking Woodley was trying to fight him off of 0 wins in like 10 years. So George Masvidal, and I mean, entertaining. I like the guy a lot as a fighter. He's enjoyable. But he doesn't have a single win versus anybody in the top 15, unless you count the Michael Chiesa win from 2013.
Well, Darren Till, right?
Yeah, Darren Till probably would still be there. He went to middleweight. So, yeah, that's true. That'd be a solid rebuttal.
And then Askren at the time. I think a lot of it is, it's hard saying where were they at the time he defeated them versus where did they come up. So a guy who beat a guy who when they first fought, he wasn't ranked, and now that guy is ranked number 2 or something. How do you view it? This isn't even my argument. So I'm out.
No, that's a good thing you said there. But like my counter would be is that Askren came in it's all MMA, man. It doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. But I found it funny how Usman was saying Colby needs to be more active to earn a title challenge. And then he's fighting a guy who's one of the least active.
I'm making a meme of that
in the division.
That's good.
That's like
hilarious.
And I'm watching Okamoto. I just turned it off. I don't care, but I caught that part. I'm like, I hope he said, well, Jorge hasn't really fought much lately either. What do you say there? But why would Okamoto press Usman when he needs him for interviews? Like the reporters, they don't press guys anymore. And and really it's a losing battle. Everyone's really sensitive, and I get it. Like I'm sensitive, so I don't, it is what it is. I thought that was interesting.
Yes, it is interesting. Okay. Will Masvidal go up and down in your mind if Ben Askren loses to Jake Paul or wins? Does that win change that Masvidal's win over Askren?
This is good, man, because I'm probably going to get that pay-per-view.
Oh,
somehow.
great.
I don't know what time it starts. And here's the thing. And I like Askren a lot. He's the one fighter I follow on social media. He's the one athlete I follow. I find him to be an engaging character, and I enjoy his antics. And I'm like, I want to support this guy. I like this guy. I want to support him. I want to get him a little payday. So I'm going to get that pay-per-view somehow. Now, if it's on too late, obviously I have to, maybe I'll PayPal him $10 when he runs for political office in Oklahoma, wherever he lives, or Minnesota.
Versus Tito. It's going to be him versus Tito.
I gave Tito $5. I'd give Ben 20 if he ran for political office.
Tito might eventually need some money for his legal team, but
I would pay more for Ben Askren's calendar than I did Rachel Ostovich's calendar.
Whoa.
I almost made a comment and I'm glad I did it.
So will that win go up or down for Masvidal?
It's the same. It's the same. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who this Paul guy is. I know he beat Nate Robinson, who's like a 5'3" former NBA player and 40 years old. And
we'll break down that fight next week. Okay.
Yeah. Next week, I will tell you
break down. I don't know.
Raises or lowers Masvidal. But if Masvidal doesn't win a round again versus Usman, well, then I got to negate him. I got to knock him down a little bit. Like, you can't fight a guy for 10 rounds and win. What would it be? That'd be 30 judges' scorecards. Is that the math? And you get one out of 30.
That's funny. All right. Rank the rest of the 5 or rest of the 6.
Number 1. Gane versus Volkov.
Why?
Winner is going to fight for the championship.
I don't know about that.
Who else is there? Well, there's Jones and there's Derek Lewis.
That's the thing is Derek Lewis. So I guess they're still negotiating, huh? Francis and or John Jones in the UFC. Because he's like, oh, great talks happen. Oh, I loved having dinner with Dana. Oh yeah, great talk. And then all of a sudden you hear that Francis Ngannou might have turned down Derek Lewis. I don't know, but that leads the third guy. Here's what I was hoping. Okay. Ciryl Gane, I'm the nut dick rider, fanboy like no other right now. I was hoping Jones and Ngannou a fight and Gane would get a fight versus Derek Lewis and put on a performance. I think he puts it on Derek Lewis stylistically. But then it changed because he might have to go through another fight, and Volkov worries me. Big Volkov, since he's been like 260 something pounds, dude, He worries me now. So I don't know what to expect of him. And I almost think Volkov is super underrated, especially now his power differential. Some of those guys fill in a little bit better. The way Overeem was running for his life versus him, I don't know how much that means, but Volkov is dangerous. So I'm a little worried about this fight.
Who just beat Curtis Blades? Lewis.
Yes.
That is a massive favor to Volkov.
Correct.
So that'll help. It's because everything is, what have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
So if Blades has a recent loss but beat Volkov and Volkov wins 3 in a row, that win-loss doesn't matter. That's why I don't stress over early stoppages so much. Like, I wish we had remembered this, what we said, because when Lewis fought Cormier, we discussed, would Lewis ever get a title shot again? And I would think we both said yes, just because of heavyweight, how it works. Like, when you're 30, you have 15 years remaining in your career. So, but yeah, it's a huge favor to Volkov. I do. I think there's a meme somewhere in like, like Jones will fight Reyes for whatever, call it 5 million. Here, how much to fight Ngannou? 50 million. It's like, I need a 10x pay increase to
Yeah.
go fight that behemoth, man.
And then it worries
And
me
I don't
because
blame him.
my long-term prediction is that Gane dethrones Francis Ngannou. If John Jones wins, he's never going to fight Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane's going to put it on his ass. John Jones just wants to stand up with him. And so he'll never fight him. So almost John Jones winning. If John Jones beats Ngannou, who does John Jones fight next? He's going to want $100 million. He's got to fight Conor.
True. Or Nate Diaz.
I don't know how Nate Diaz is taking Leon Edwards. He must have some bills to pay or something.
I keep forgetting about that fight.
He must have some bills to pay, man. Or they're paying him that good of money to fight Leon Edwards. But I guess you figure he'll lose a decision. You can always say time ran out when you're a Diaz, that you lost a decision, that you really didn't lose. The guy ground and pound, you did whatever. But Leon Edwards is a big ass Benson Henderson. It's going to look somewhat like that fight.
Yeah.
And a blacker Benson Henderson.
Also true. Also true.
Benson was pretty big. He's thick.
His thighs. Pretty sure that's been a show topic.
He's got them Woodley
multiple times before he went to Bellator. All right. Number 2. It's got to be Conor versus Poirier.
What do you think of Poirier calling the Chandler versus Oliveira the paper belt?
Fucking media hype. I mean, if we're ranking those 4 of who deserves the title shot the most, number 4 is empty because Conor's not in the top 4.
Nice.
So
nice.
That
was good.
Makes the combination of Oliveira versus Chandler a higher cumulative ranking.
Well played. So cumulatively speaking, I get you. Dustin turned it down. He was scared.
Correct.
He was scared of Chandler Oliveira. That's how I interpret it.
Correct.
Which is how I could spin it, but I know it's for the money. I would do it too. You're fucking hot sauce. You're bringing a bigger bottle of hot sauce. It gets this. You sell your shorts. I get it all.
Because he could go in there and crack his tibia in half and never walk again the same.
Or get his head cracked by Conor's left hand and never be the same.
Well, that probably will happen.
Because is it going to be motivated karate stance Conor now, right?
There's also a Conor learns well from his losses. That's how I want to see him fight Khabib again. I'm like, okay, he's went in there, he's experienced it. He, don't make me bring up Forrest Griffin again, because I will.
No, I know it. I already know it.
One of the greatest moments in the history of
everyone's got their thing.
I was watching. So, yeah, so like we've discussed before, I'm okay with immediate rematches for high-level stakes fun fights. I don't mind it. They both want paydays. Conor wants his revenge. Poirier likes making money. Makes sense. Like because there is entertainment weaved into sport. There's both.
True. This next fight, Conor's going to bring some heat now, right?
Well, because here's what happens. The further Conor gets away from a loss, the less he listens to Kavanaugh and does his own thing. So Kavanaugh needs him to lose to rein him back in again.
Interesting. Okay.
This is just my theory based on his personality, kind of being a wild man.
Okay. All right. What's number 3, 4, and 5?
3 is Zombie versus Ige. 4 and 5 tie.
Okay.
They're tied at 4.5. Neither is 4 and neither is 5.
Let's go to this weekend's event. UFC on ABC, Vettori versus Holland.
Oh, is it on earlier? Come on, please.
UFC on ABC. This is why we used to love the Fox events, especially you.
Let it be. What time does it start? Fuck. Damn it. Is Julian Marquez the Miley Cyrus guy?
Yes.
Okay.
And then for me, he's the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Well, you're more into the Cold War, and I'm more into trashy girls.
I was gonna make a shitty joke. You were gonna say Cold War, and then I was gonna say Cold Whore, but I don't like calling women names and that whatever. But it would have been a funny joke, I think.
I agree. I'm more into Cold Stone than the Cold War.
And I was going to say the only time I call women derogatory names is in my own bedroom. Okay. Cold Stone cookie batter, man.
Oh, yeah.
From the heavens. The Greek gods came up with that one.
Speaking of Stone and beer from earlier, the Stone Enjoy by 420, I came across it recently. Holy shit. Is that an excellent beer?
I love Stone is my beer now. You showed me it for the first time and then you got away from it. And that's my beer now.
It's kind of like Star Wars.
It's kind of like Uzman. Or Garbrandt when you stole Garbrandt from me.
Okay. I was going to give a Star Wars reference for the nerds, but.
All right, let's hear it.
There's a famous scene with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. And Darth Vader says, like, basically the summary is like, when we were first met, you were the master and I was the learner, and now I'm the master. So when we first introduced Stone, I was, the master, and then you've now taken it from me.
Yes. I love Stone beer. They're always good.
And there's a handful of them. So if you like IPAs and you don't like any Stone beers, you actually might not like IPAs. You may be a stout guy or porter.
I'm a basic bitch.
Gose.
IPAs. I get made fun of now. It's the pumpkin spice for white guys. I'm like, damn, man.
IPAs are?
So I got to hide it. I should start hiding mine in a Yeti pretty soon.
Just to avoid shame.
Yeah, it's the tramp stamp. That thing used to be hot back in the day, I'm telling you.
Yes, it was.
Still is. All right. Venum's first event. What do you think of the new Venum gear?
I haven't seen it.
Check it out. Let's look at it.
I'm aware of it. I think I know it's a Brazilian company, and that's about where my knowledge ends. Is it VENUM?
Yes. It looks like they have some jackets, some shorts, some shirts, the fighter gear.
Yeah, so I got a image of here of Aljamain Sterling with like a little jogging suit on. Looks pretty cool, actually. I'd probably wear that jogging suit.
What do you think of the fighter trunks?
Like the in-cage trunks? These are like, they're a little more, well, that looks like, so solid color with kind of like angled dark stripes on them. Is that what you're seeing too?
Yes.
They're pretty cool. They're a little louder. Maybe that's by design. So here's some Venum outfits here too. White shorts with a little bit of I wonder if these guys are actually all there in person in this image.
Or they're just cropped in.
Yeah. And really not even wearing the shirts. Because there's an image here and it's like There's Conor, Anthony Pettis, which I thought, is he in the UFC still?
No,
There's
he's
a,
dead.
is this fake then?
Well, I would
Like,
think unless Pettis is sponsored also by Venum, but happens to be in Bellator.
oh, fucking asshole. Is there a fucking Reebok here? Why is this popping up in a Venum thread? Oh, these are pretty cool right here. Oh, those are one championship Venum shorts. Never mind. Oh, those are pretty badass.
One champ.
Dude. The color palette is kind of like military fatigue.
Oh, I like fatigues.
I was gonna share my
Camo.
screen, but you're a host, so I can't. But yeah, these are pretty badass here. They're like green up the middle. They got some black. It looks like either brass or gold. Now, I was just watching Farmhouse Flipping Show on HTV last night, and they did a heavy brass on the accents and the hardware, and I'm like, wow, brass is pretty cool. So I'm fresh on the heels of watching this beautiful Farmhouse Flip. So that's probably playing with my perception of this gear right now.
All right. You have a brass bias. Now, are you able to find a UFC Venum trunk? Well, you said you saw Aljamain at least, but that was his tracksuit.
What's this? Oh, what is that? Just some random model? Very nice. Oh, yeah.
Now you're looking at Rachel Ostovich's calendar.
I don't know who this is. It just, this brunette.
In the red?
Yeah.
So what do you think of that outfit?
I like it.
Do you like her or the outfit?
Mostly her.
Oh, so you don't? Okay, so you don't like the trunks?
No, I like it too. I like it. I'm proud. So I don't like going shopping. So I get a box shipped to me right here and there with clothes in them. And I just said, I'm like, I don't want any loud patterns on my shirts.
Okay.
I'm more of a low pattern or no pattern kind of person. So they look cool. They're not really my taste though.
Okay.
I do think they're cooler than the Reebok gear though. I will say that. Like this one here, I pulled up with looks like the same brunette and this black dude in it, but like this top kind of grayish, like a hint of black, a little bit of yellow. That's pretty badass right there. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not too heavily patterned. Gray, a little bit of yellow on the diagonal near the straightest anterior, a little bit of yellow up here near the Ultimate Warrior, bicep tie. That's pretty cool. I'd wear that.
My first impression when I saw them was that I really liked them. And then what I learned about, I didn't learn this, just reminded of it, is that social media is not real. It's an alternate reality that doesn't exist in real life, but is slowly becoming real. And that everyone will just bitch about everything. And that's what generally they do on social media is they go to criticize or complain.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember Reebok when they first came out, it was the worst thing ever. And then once I see this, I just see maybe it's just me. I don't know, but just constant criticizing. And then, we had a good thing. We had a good thing when we had it. Like when you break up with your girlfriend and get a new girlfriend or whatever. And I'm convinced you could put up anything and it's just going to get annihilated.
Oh yeah. There's a segment of the population, I don't know, 2%. So I see on YouTube a lot. Like I'll come across a video and I'm like, how could anyone dislike this video? Yet you look down, there's 40,000 thumbs ups and there's 40 or 400 thumbs downs. Like someone found a reason to hate it. It's impossible not to have people hate what you're doing. So this trio of people, it took me so long to recognize Brian Ortega with Aljamain Sterling.
And Valentina Shevchenko?
That's not Shevchenko.
I'm just messing with you.
Who is that though?
I don't know.
Cute. She got that like little, like shorter and kind of like stocky, sporty look. Like plays like softball catcher or something, or maybe third base.
She's a lesbian?
Like she could really sit on a fastball and take it over the fence.
And play rugby?
Like the torque in those hips. Oh yeah. What are we talking about here? Are we still ranking things? Number 5 on my top.
I like the new gear. I think it looks cool. I'm convinced that it doesn't matter what you put up. People are going to hate it, and people hate, quote unquote, the man. So it doesn't matter. To each their own. It's subjective anyway, so it doesn't matter. Wait till I get a fucking jacket and it says Fraley down the back.
These tops, I like all of them that I've seen. Like the long sleeve tops are badass. And I like these pants with like the Venum logo on the one hip flexor, UFC another hip flexor. That's cool too. That's like more my style with gear. But the hats are pretty badass.
That's what I should get people for anything. Like if you have anything and I need to get something for you, I'm going to get you one of those shirts or jackets and it's going to say Haggard down the back.
Now this
same thing goes for Cousin Frank and Brother Mark and Ride or Die Kristen. I'll put Ride or Die right down the back.
Does UFC own fighters likeness forever? Like they sign like into a lifetime likeness deal?
Yeah, they're slaves.
I'm looking
indentured servants.
I'm looking at this GSP fight kit. The men's walkout hoodie with St. Pierre on the back is $175.
Yeah, GSP and Brent Akamoto are in Dana's basement.
GSP's hair, man. Who has better hair, GSP or Brent Ortega now? Trick question, same haircut.
Well, it's just that color.
GSP's hair, man.
It looks like
I saw a clip of him on JRE on Instagram, and I couldn't stand it for more than I had to scroll past so fast. I couldn't take it, man. It was too much for me to handle.
I gotta listen to him. I gotta have the audio. It's just it's like mesmerizing, distracting / funny. Like if he's just having fun and being funny, like it's I don't know. But who am I to judge?
Yeah. These Venum 1 colors, man, on these shorts are sweet.
You're gonna get yourself a pair, huh? What would you do? Work out in them? This is like, remember the discussion where I said like what?
Those are foreplay shorts, not workout shorts.
Oh, they're like lingerie?
Kristen loves my thighs.
So they're lingerie.
Yeah.
They need a UFC lingerie line.
What do you think Brian Ortega and Aljamain Sterling got paid for this modeling gig? And somewhere is Luke Rockhold jealous? If the guy's a professional model and he can't even model this Venum gear,
50,000. I'm basing that on absolutely nothing. It's the first thing that came up in my head. But now that I think about it, maybe they have some long-term contract where they have certain obligations. Hey, when's the last time Luke Rockhold fought is the thing. I think that's what plays into it. If he was more active, he'd be modeling like crazy.
That's true. But it's kind of like doing a UFC open weight grappling tourney and not inviting Demi and Maya. Like Luke Rockhold is like the godfather of UFC modeling. Okay, we got to end that part there. That was a good comparison. Man, you got caffeine in you today? Caffeine? Maybe it's this half banana. Maybe potassium's the key to get like my neurons firing better or something.
Or maybe it's that farmhouse show.
Dude, I was hooked, man. And like the way the setup is in the new house, like we don't have a TV in our bedroom or anything in there. So I watched the entire episode on my iPhone.
So they'll always say, don't have a TV in your bedroom because of this, because that. You don't have a TV in your bedroom. I have 2 of them. Dead serious. That is not a joke. One directly under the other.
You're like, we'll see about that. No TV. I'll have 2. This is your double middle fingers as a man who just turned 40. Like when you were 22, you had a different set of double middle fingers.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I'll compete in a fight and eat a cheeseburger beforehand from McDonald's, which Jorge now is copying. So now it's like that was 26-year-old middle fingers. 40-year-old middle fingers is no TV in the bedroom. We'll see. I'll have to.
It's not double middle fingers, it's double TVs.
Maybe now it's double IPAs.
Oh my God, my favorite.
We'll see about that.
Those.
But tell me who this blonde girl is.
Do you have more interest in her or Vettori versus Holland?
We broke down this event last week. Do you remember on accident?
Yes, on accident. We didn't realize it was a week later. God, are we suckers? Casuals, we're casuals, but we're breaking down the event way sooner. And an event that it's a fight. Well, yes, it's not a fight night. It's a UFC on ABC. Question: if Holland beats Vettori, will he
title fight? Yes,
ahead of Brunson?
Yes, and ahead of Whitaker,
but still behind Till.
Correct.
Okay, Till, man, that's tough for him.
That's a bummer. Seems like a serious injury.
Yeah, I don't. I want to see these guys fight, even though I thought he was going to get ahead of Whitaker. I still want to see him fight.
Well, I heard all of Till's injuries, and I'm like, maybe you got to scale back the training or mix in some PT to get the body in alignment. Because, and this is just, it's not, I'm not saying he's doing, but if you only do bench presses, your body won't have balance and prevent injury. You need to do things that are boring and they're not the sexy moves, but the boring, unsexy things is what keeps your body firing better and in a healthier alignment.
Maybe he saw himself in those new Venum trunks and he just went that extra 5% and it was a little too much.
That'd be me, but
be careful.
Sexually, because they'd be foreplay. I'd go an extra 5% too, probably.
And you would hurt yourself. You'd break your collarbone.
I probably injured my shoulder too, actually. If I lean on this right shoulder a little too long, it's like, fuck.
So in missionary, you kind of have to be upright and go like American Psycho with the legs up.
No, and I flex in the mirror. Basically, remember how Nate Diaz submitted, I think it was Kurt Pellegrino, double middle fingers?
Yeah.
I'm double bicep flex, but during sex.
And Ride or Die Kristen likes that.
When she's on top, I say, tell me you love my biceps. And I'm flexing the entire time.
So you're flexing from the bottom, huh?
Correct, yeah.
And she's just holding on to them?
I've never tried that, but damn it, that's genius. I have my Friday planned out. Thank you.
It's going to get nasty this weekend. Stuff got nasty for me last weekend. I want to talk about that in the customizable portion.
Ooh, teaser. We're basically professional broadcasters out with that kind of
I'm going to be talking about shit I shouldn't be talking about. There's your teaser. I'm going to be talking about shit I'm going to regret. Okay?
Woo!
Get ready.
All right. I'm going Vettori.
I am also going Vettori. My main reason why? His damn noggin. I can't get past his noggin. It's so square, his jaw, everything. He's a tough, durable dude. Holland, I think it'll be a good fight. Holland, I got suckered in last time by his jaw. If whoever wins, I wouldn't be surprised. But
yeah, I'm kind of, we saw Holland's a little sloppy.
Damn, plus 285. Ooh, that's big.
Because he's dangerous. And does he come in post-coital or does he come in with nothing to lose?
I don't think I would take Vettori minus 345.
What is Holland by TKO KO or inside the distance?
Holland wins by TKO KO anywhere from 350 to 500.
take a low flyer on that, man.
I mean, does this have Vettori win by decision all over it? Or does Holland bring a little extra, which could accelerate the conclusion of the fight? I don't know. Fight doesn't go the distance is the minus 160. Fight goes to decision plus 130. It is a 5-rounder. I don't know. There's just a lot of the weird area because of Holland and him fighting 24 hours ago.
7 of Vettori's last 8 fights have went to a decision.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily put guys away. He put Carl Hoberson away. That guy, I feel like he was a fight on the damn main card of every numbered event. It was driving me crazy. But nothing against him. I mean, he's decent, but beautiful body too. Beautiful arms. Oh, because he missed weight that fight. That's why. So if you make weight, Vettori goes the distance with you. Except his very first UFC fight versus Uda in 2016.
I'm shocked by that number because the way to get Holland out of there inside of 5 is a submission. He's never been TKO KO'd in his entire MMA career. Vettori has a decision in 7 of 8 fights. So either Holland finishes Vettori or it's going 5 rounds. So if you're going to bet inside the distance at minus whatever that number was, might as well just do a flyer for 3 times the payout
on Holland. Okay. And
this co-main event has me fired up, man.
It's a little sleeper, isn't it?
That's my main event.
Arnold Allen just flying by under the radar, this guy. The almighty. I mean, he hasn't lost in the UFC. 7-0, 16-1 overall. I mean, but he's got Murakami, Rinaldi, Melendez, Lentz. This is good. Some 2 up and coming guys.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I don't like when they fight each other, but
it's been a minute since he fought, but I guess it looks like Sadiq Yusuf, same time frame. Yeah, they fought a week apart in January of 2020. Oh, that just makes me sad right there.
It does.
Fought 2-3 times since then.
Yeah, that's sad. We want to see more Black Explosive. He's showing some promise also. LV Marquez, we know who you're cheering for. Dern and
I'm cheering for an early knockout. I'm cheering for chaos. Like I want to watch that at 1.5 speed and have it end within 3 minutes.
Every time he smiles, does it make you hit one more level of fast forward?
To be honest here, so he hasn't won in 5 fights. Dude, not gonna lie, man. I don't think I've watched him fight since Rashad Evans in 2017. I just blow right through his fights. I think that's when we had our back and forth on Twitter, where he claimed he was trying to build muscle between camps, but he weighed 247 pounds. And I'm like, dude, you can build muscle without gaining 60 pounds. That's what started this. We had a Twitter back and forth.
I thought it was his smiling. His smiling is secondary. Or are you? We know Verdum's smile is your favorite. Is Sam Alvey's your second favorite?
Rank these smiles.
This show has hit rock bottom. Rank these.
With an emphasis.
It's over.
Rock. We're emphasizing rock though in that phrase right there.
It's over. But then rank these rocks.
Rock. You know what? we hit bottom by ranking Smiles, but then we go right back up by ranking Rock of the Seasons.
Rock of the Seasons. Mackenzie Dern versus Ansaroff. I think Dern takes it. I think Dern is going to be a title contender. It's just a matter of when. She's trying to put her game together, develop it with the grappling. I hope she can implement both and just doesn't go grappling happy. That's one thing I worry about Usman, him standing up a little bit too much. But it happens. Mike Perry in there, opening the show. If Perry wins, do I buy my girlfriend Platinum Perry pants? Or do I do it if he loses?
Because I don't, which ones?
Well, no, she's Diamond D, but she's Platinum Princess to me.
Did she change her Insta handle?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure.
See, Mike Perry's the ultimate employee, and here's how you know. In his last 9 fights, he has 3 wins and 6 losses. Yet he's still under contract.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
And oh my, so really? 2 of those wins are versus lightweights, and 1 is versus Mickey Gall. In a way, that's like 1.5 wins and 6 losses. Thing is, he loses to tough guys. Did Ponzinibbio take his soul? Or did Platinum Princess take his soul? Because I feel like he was riding high, and then she came in the picture, and his career has not done well since. And he's bringing in girlfriends as ring people or corner people.
Your relationship it affects the other parts of your life. I'm pretty sure Kevin Hart even has a bit about it. With sex, he says something like rich dick or millionaire dick is only good once in a while because you're focusing on other things. Like poor guy dick, you get it a lot. It's good.
Okay, I want to hear this bit. I want to hear him flush out a little bit. I want to hear more of this.
But yeah, mine's a shitty version of it. But
Kevin Hart, rich guy dick bit.
You're gonna listen to the whole thing right now?
Wait, is it a whole special or just a bit?
No. I meant I don't know how long the bit lasts. Like I don't know if it's some like 3-minute bit or whatnot. I guess I could just talk about Mike Perry the whole time. And
unfortunately, Kevin Hart rich guy dick bit shows no results on Google, and I'm probably gonna flame out here and never find it. Hoping brother Mark comes to the rescue and sends a link.
And then I would probably need I need to explain it better. I probably butchered it.
If a listener can find this link and send it over, we will give you props on the show. And recommend an IPA in your area to try.
Anything
all I have to do is read the description, and I know the best IPA on tap.
Wait, for what?
If I go to a brewery, all I have to do is read the description, and I can pick out the best tasting IPA.
Oh, I like that. I can't. So, customizable portion. That's all we talk about for this event. Top 5 of the week. Okay.
Now, if you're new to the show, this is Paul's top 5. Sometimes I re-rank them. Sometimes Paul's ranking is perfect. And we haven't heard Big Paul in a while, though. Does he make an appearance here?
Interesting. We have not discussed anything. Number 5. What do you think it has to do with? Generally.
The kids.
Food. An animal.
And animal's number 5 every week, so I should have guessed that.
Have you ever heard of the shoe bill?
Is this that's a British tax that shoe manufacturers pay because shoes wear down the pavement. So it's a tax to supplement fixing beaten down pavement in the UK.
Holy shit. First of all, I'm blown away right now. Second of all, did that really exist?
I don't know.
Because there used to be a window tax. I know there was that. And I think there was a beard tax in some places. So this shoe tax wouldn't surprise me as much.
Well, moved to South Carolina and was doing a residency and had to take my truck VIN number into the auditor, and they issue a property tax on my truck.
Does that tax change like based on the cost of the vehicle, the weight of the vehicle?
I think it's based on value.
Okay. So it's kind of like houses too, I think. Maybe
So,
not.
but I think it offsets somewhere else. They just collect taxes differently here than they do in Michigan.
Okay.
Like, I don't think we pay sales tax on a car here. We pay a property tax instead.
So just look up shoe bill, one word, and then click images. Everybody can do it. All the listeners right now do it. Okay.
Pull over your car. The eyes on this bird combined with the beak and the color of its fur or feathers, it's a pretty badass looking animal right here.
Could you imagine rolling up on that in the wild?
No.
Because I would immediately roll down.
What are those tall birds that people will keep as pets? Some like usually in Florida or random places like that.
A flamingo?
I think it's like in the family, but I remember hearing a story where a flock of birds that attacked its owner. Like he's out there hanging out with the birds, and then they fucking attacked him.
I don't know why that's kind of funny to me. But this bird I love this bird because it has
Killed.
What?
Killed.
They killed him?
Yeah, is cassowary a bird?
Oh, we talked about cassowaries. Cassowary is an Australian bird. Those are beautiful and terrifying and have that damn talon or whatever.
Yeah. A Florida man killed in a bizarre attack earlier this year by one of the world's deadliest birds suffered deep puncture wounds and slashing cuts from the animal's sharp talons that severed a major artery in his arm, according to a newly released autopsy.
You can't have a cassowary because we saw them in the that thing is terrifying. It's like a more beautiful / scarier emu. So the shoe bill is not as deadly, I think, but it's a crazy bird with a giant beak, and it's just cool if you've never seen it. I don't know.
The shoe bill to me is beautiful, terrifying.
Ooh, I like that.
The look in the eyes is intense.
It looks like a dinosaur, or a pterosaur, some kind of, bird. And its name, I know its biological name is Balaniceps rex. So it almost has a dino name.
And the beak has a fucking talon on the end of it at the top. There's a side profile pic here on Google. And with the caption of an incredible hunting bird. Yeah, I can see that. Anyway.
Okay. So there we go. Shoe bill. Number 4, sorry, is I was over at my girlfriend's family for Easter, and they were discussing how they had over in Iraq in their town or whatever, they have a water day. And basically everyone in the neighborhood just gets everybody wet, like sprays them or has buckets or whatnot. And just you're walking down the street, you get blasted or whatever. And they were saying how the two of the sisters went with the mom, and they're walking down the street, and a guy from up on the building on top of it, dropped water down on their head, and their mom was pissed, yelling at them up there. But I don't know if that's what you expect. It's just, it sounds like it'd be kind of fun. It's like a color run. Have you ever heard of a color run?
Yeah.
Have you done one?
No.
Cousin Frank has.
Has he?
I think because of his girlfriend.
Cousin Frank doesn't run.
But he had to because his girlfriend, I don't know if enticed
I'm
him.
messing, Cousin Frank. I'm messing.
Did she entice you or make you? Because of the consequences.
This kind of goes back to my whole, like, I'll disagree with Kristen frequently enough on some of her thoughts, but then I always say, is this a hill I want to die on, or do I want to try to win another battle later? And most times I just let her win the battle. She does the same for me. I can just tell. I'm like, oh, and she's like, okay. She doesn't love my idea. She's like, okay. And then she's like, I'm going to get one later. And that's kind of like our tit for tat. So
that's why the saying, pick and choose your battles.
Right.
I mean, partially, but yours is more specified towards relationships.
So, World Water Day was 2 weeks ago. So did Iraq's Water Day recently pass? Is that why this topic came up?
I don't think so. Cause it's the opposite. It's wasting water.
It's like water. It's water excess.
The anti-water day, I think, is what it is. They're giving double middle fingers to water, and they say, "Fuck you, we're gonna go thirsty."
It's like there's like an environmental day, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like celebrating that day by burning through a forest of trees
and just pouring toxic waste into the rivers.
Like on World Health Day, eating 4 different fast food items. That was yesterday's World Health Day. Holy shit.
And how many burgers did you have?
No, I celebrated. So here's what I had yesterday. Here's what I ate. No joke. I did make a smoothie in the morning with like some fruit and veggies. After that, I went and got a chicken sandwich and fries from a local place called Tropical Grill. Really good. They put a curry sauce on it with pickles. Pretty fucking tasty. And then later in the day, I ate a little bit of leftovers. Then I ate a frozen pizza.
Okay.
All in all, a diverse day.
Diversity is key. Number 3. It is so ironic that you mentioned Big Paul, AKA Big Bean, AKA Puppa.
Does Big Paul, you have this podcast?
I think so, but he forgot about it, and he sure as hell doesn't listen because he would not want me talking about him ever. He doesn't want to be discussed about anything. And who knows, it's probably just the terrible shit he did in his past or something. I don't know. But what did you call your grandma and grandpa?
Well, both of my grandmas died before I was old enough to know them.
Okay.
My grandpa in Kentucky was known as Papa Hut.
Why Hut?
I don't know. And people called him Hut for short.
Oh, so it's probably like his. Do you remember his first name?
No. I think it's Charles, but I could be wrong. Yeah, no, it was Charles because my Uncle Chuck was a junior. That's right. It was Charles.
Because it's funny because everybody has a different
Nana.
Papa, Nana. Mine was a granny, grandpa. And I don't know if you've ever heard that Sebastian Maniscalco bit where he talks about, people nowadays, this is my Meemaw and my Peepaw.
Yeah, I have heard this one.
Pee-pee and my poo-poo. And then he's like, your Papa, the guy's 95 years old. He stormed the beaches of Normandy, and now you're calling him pee-pee? Like, I like him. So
I knew a Meemaw once.
You did?
And I knew a Nani. Nani as well, I knew.
I knew a go-go.
Go-go dancer?
I knew those two, and a grandma go-go, who might have been also a go-go dancer when she was younger. I would have to ask her.
There's probably a Gigi out there too.
There's got to be. Speaking of Gigi, isn't there a movie Gigi? with like Jennifer Lopez or something, or Angelina Jolie. Because I could be mixing up Gigi and Gigli, or Gigla, and I think it might have what's his name, Ben Affleck in it.
You're thinking of Mowgli.
No, Mowgli is the guy with the tiger.
So the movie with Jolie has a G name, and it's like,
Oh, it's just
everyone, she got naked and everyone like fucking went nuts about her getting naked in this movie. Now there is a movie called Gigi from 2005. It's a comedic short. It's 8 minutes long.
Okay, it wasn't that.
And there's a Gigi coming out soon, I think. How do you spell Gigi, first of all? Maybe I'm spelling it wrong.
Okay, it was Gia. It was 1998 Gia with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. And you can see her tits in it.
Yes. Should we rank them? Or is that
rank her tits?
I get sidetracked too much. I'm sorry. Should you at least look it up? Like, I mean, we looked up the Venum gear. We should at least look up this, to be honest to the listeners.
All right. I've never seen the movie all the way through.
I think I have. Oh, because you always finished before the end, you pervert. Ridiculous.
That's good, man. That's good. Oh, pretty nice.
Pretty nice. And she's like crazy. She kind of has substance abuse.
Yeah, her eyes are circularly black. Like she's just covered in like mascara completely around her eyes. Pale skin, black hair. She has those big eyes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pornhub for providing. Oh, what is this?
Oh, and she got that messy hair.
It's a photo shoot. She's actually fully naked wearing high heels. She's cupping her vaginal area. Okay, a little perky butt. Yeah, she's got that real like kind of like a playful / sassy, kind of thing going on. Maybe a little crazy.
She looks crazy in mine.
Yeah, she's just flipping around doing circles and stuff. Lips looks pretty big. I'm pretty sure she ends up fucking this chick right here who's at the photo shoot.
Okay, so would you say thumbs up or thumbs down? I didn't know how to compare it.
Thumbs up.
Okay.
I'm not going to thumbs down too many boobs.
So then Gigli is a 2003 American comedy with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. I figured you would have seen this. I just think you and Brother Mark have seen every movie.
Gigli?
Yes. I don't know if I've seen it. I can't recall. I just remember the movie.
Yeah. I know like people in the media today, they blast Ben Affleck. But for a non-related reason, I don't watch really many of his movies. Like I've seen Good Will Hunting. I've seen one of the DC movies where it's DC versus Superman or whatever it is. And I saw the one with where he's like a Boston bank robber or something. And the town. One more. That's it.
Games?
Well, let me go to Ben Affleck's name here because maybe I'm full of shit and I've seen more of his movies.
Reindeer Games. I can't believe my customizable portion turned into a Ben Affleck filmography.
Appreciation segment.
Yes. I
never seen Argo, which he got a lot of love for.
Oh, Argo, little Shah of Iran, Iranian Revolution. I like it.
I've seen Mallrats.
I have seen that.
I saw Justice League. I've seen The Accountant, I'm pretty sure. What's the one that came out recently and his wife goes missing?
Gone Girl.
I've seen that one.
I feel like I like that one.
Me too. I like that one a lot. I think I've seen Smoking Aces.
You went from not watching Ben Affleck to him being your favorite actor.
Well, let's not get carried away here. I have seen
You-
Reindeer Games though. That movie that involves like some crime caper shit, doesn't it too as well?
So you like him more than Matt Damon is how I interpreted this.
No, Jesus.
And you enjoyed his involvement in the Me Too movement. I'm just down there on his Wikipedia page. That's where I came up.
Ben Affleck's involvement?
It just
Was
said
he-
Me Too allegations.
Was he someone accused?
I don't know. I'm not even reading it. I scrolled back up.
Well, you know what happened was the Harvey Weinstein character, and I think Ben and like, didn't he produce Good Will Hunting or they were involved somehow? So Affleck had to come out and support it to distance himself from Harvey Weinstein. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. I actually don't follow like social stuff and this stuff, pop culture too much, but I feel like I heard that.
I love in Curb Your Enthusiasm when the woman comes up to Jeff Green and thinks he's Harvey Weinstein because he looks exactly like him.
Yes, that one's great. But October 10th, 2017, Rose McGowan attacks Ben Affleck over Harvey Weinstein. Fucking
Look at
you know what?
man.
Give myself a pat on my back segment here.
Look
What's
at
more
you.
impressive? Me knowing that or knowing Spanish flu and the end of the Roma
Oh, so close. So close.
Romanov dynasty.
And you watching every one of Ben Affleck's movies is insane.
Rank these 3 James accomplishments.
Who are you more of a fan of? Weinstein? Rank these fandoms that you have. Weinstein, Affleck, Romanoff.
Now I could get in trouble here if I rank these any way that is obvious.
Oh, man. You want me to? All right, we don't have to anymore. Okay, we haven't even got to the part of number 3 that Big Paul is involved in.
Can I just one more thing on this real fast?
Yeah.
So October 10th, 2017, McGowan attacks Ben Affleck. January 31st, 2018, Harvey Weinstein using Ben Affleck to discredit Rose McGowan. This is actually my post-show deep dive because I need to know how this plays out. May 11th, 2020, Ben Affleck was on Harvey Weinstein's red flag list.
Oh, that's not a good list. I wonder if
3 days after McGowan attacks Ben Affleck, Weinstein's scandal has inspired Ben Affleck. ... Listen, man, my curiosity is at an all-time high. If you're with me, just Google Harvey Weinstein, Ben Affleck, and all the goods is right here on the first page of Google. I have my work cut out for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
I can't tell if you were being funny or not when you said your curiosity is at an all-time lie.
Okay, I'm embellishing. Like I've been more curious in my life, but it's up there.
Okay, because I'm like, man, this guy's good today. So you're gonna finish out. You're gonna at least finish out the story before Ride or Die gets home, right?
She's home tomorrow night, so
you're gonna be like, babe, you won't believe what happened with
Dude.
Weinstein and Affleck.
Dude, I'm noting my rankings, and in number 3 for Big Paul, I write Ben Affleck by mistake. Maybe there's a 3A, 3B here. You know, we got to, you know what? That's 3B, and then Big Paul is going to be 3A.
Rank these bigs: Big Paul, Big Ben, Big the movie.
Have you seen Big Ben in person?
No, I've just seen him on TV in a uniform.
Fuck.
What?
I like Big Ben the Clock.
Oh, but I meant Big Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. I'm like, fuck. I'm missing this, man. I'm like,
fun fact, Big Ben is actually the bell inside of there.
Damn it.
But usually you can just say, it's the whole fucking thing, whatever. I would never say, this is one of the people who, actually, it's the bell. No, just steal a little fun fact, okay? Just
listen, you can say whatever you want if you have the right tone for the occasion.
Correct. That I agree with. So number 3, finally, next week on the new Sweet Side. No, Big Paul and my stepmom, Mrs. Paul, I guess, I don't know. They now like to, we'll always do like celebrate occasions over there, Easter, Christmas, or whatnot. And one of the things they like to do is make sure that it's first. So whatever the weekend is before the event, they'll make it first. And they do that on purpose now. So they get all of that initial excitement of like, yeah, it's your birthday. Yeah. And their presents are open and everything. And plus they don't have any repeat gifts. So if the kids receive a gift and if they got it from somebody else, they would have to take it back. But since my dad and stepmom do it first, they never have to take a gift back. This is a particular strategy that employ, and they did it on Easter too.
And part of the reason they do it is because of their repeat gifts. They want to avoid having them going back to the store.
They said that they want to have the gift. You never want to have like you're excited about giving this gift and someone else has already gotten it. I think that's the main part. The second part is, yes, the logistical aspect of having to go back, send it back, or take it back, depending on whether you ordered it or not. And yes, they specifically talked about this when I was over there this past weekend.
And the other side's genius too, because it's like, oh, going to our 5th birthday party. It's like, even fun things can wear on you a little bit. So
Yeah.
the first one, you're always at your peak celebratory mood.
Yeah. Nobody wants to have sex 5 times in one day.
Correct. And if you do, you're probably a sex addict that should see help. Seriously.
Yes, seriously. We can help you.
I don't believe in addiction in many ways, but if you're having sex 5 times in a day, you are sick and need help. I'm just messing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you need help, not you're sick. You're saying like sick. You're not saying sick like, oh, they're sick, they're ill. You're saying sick like they're a sicko.
That's what I was, but it's a joke. Well, here's the thing: we're all fucked up inside. That's why we drink so much. Like that is literally the reason.
Hey,
we're fucked up.
You're sick. You need help, but you've come to the right place. You're not going to get that help here, and keep listening to the show.
But you are with friends who understand your sickness.
Yeah. Consider this your meeting.
This is a safe place to be as sick as you want to be.
It is a safe space. They rip on safe spaces. Fuck them. We need safe spaces like this.
Yeah.
The customizable portion is a safe space.
Correct. You can say whatever you want during these between 5 and 45 minutes, depending on how the top 5 goes. And there are no repercussions.
And trust me, I am not going to judge you.
Oh, no.
Whatever you do is your business.
100%.
I don't even want to know if it's bad because I don't want to be an accomplice. All right. So the set number 2. I lost all my flow now.
Paul!
Number 2. What?
Today is National Empanada Day.
This is turning into Ariel and DC's show, except they open with it. Like this is like they do. Oh, this is whatever day it is. It is national, whatever.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. But
I only watch the clips on Insta.
So this is Kelvin Gastelum's. This is his day.
Also, dude, today is also Zoo Lovers Day.
On a Thursday, huh?
This is your day, man.
I dropped the kids off already. I'm not gonna see them until tomorrow.
Fuck. You ever do a solo zoo trip? Like some people like go to a movie alone or dinner alone. Like your thing is like, you go to the zoo by yourself.
No, I'm not a pedophile. God.
That's one of my former boss was taking his
botanist.
kid somewhere to like a kid's place, like a outdoor indoor park, whatever, and asked about Kristen and me going, and I'm like, no, we don't have kids. I would never go to a place that prioritizes kids' enjoyment as an adult. Like Cedar Point to me is more of like adults go there as well. It's like,
That's adrenaline and yeah.
but no, I'm not going to like a kids thing as an adult.
It makes me think of the story with Bob when he went to Cedar Point and he thought it was the roller coaster. And little, he's not all there. And he went and he thought it was some kind of roller coaster. I want to say he even thought it was the Gemini, but it was actually the Junior Gemini.
Oh man.
And he got on. And this guy, I'm pretty sure he was like 21 years old. And there's all kids on it, like 3, 4, 5 years old. And it just kind of goes up and down around in a circle. And he endured the whole ride.
Oh man.
And I feel like they questioned him or interrogated him afterwards. Like an officer is waiting there at the exit gate. I don't know.
I feel like with Bob, part of his thing was like, you would annihilate him in boxing bets. Like he always took the wrong side. And I feel like somehow you baited him into it in a way. This is just my perception based on thinking back from almost 20 years ago. Okay. So I could be way off here, but that's how my memory perceives it 20 years later.
Okay. All I remember is I'm so glad Lennox Lewis beat Hasim Rahman. Thank God. That's one that like tested our friendship. If Rahman would have defeated him that second fight, I would have just started unloading on him.
Yeah.
But then I still would have paid him and I'd put the money on him. Who knows? He might have kicked my ass. I'd had to get my ass kicked and, give them the money back. I don't know.
He was kind of a little bulldog.
He was Fleece Herrig.
That's what ended our friendship was him calling me toenail. That was the end.
God, I remember that.
Because my feet were bigger than yours. I put on your shoes. And I'm like, my toenail is jamming through the shoe. Like, makes sense.
Yeah.
It really makes sense. I'm wearing shoes too small for my feet. Then I get nicknamed toenail for years? Get the fuck out of here. Done. All right, let's move on. This topic's pissing me off.
All right. Well, I guess you're going to rank this one number 5. This isn't even my number 2, man. Number 2 is the Easter egg hunt. Okay. I have for the kids. It's Easter. We have some Easter topics here. So have you ever heard of toxic waste candy?
Mm-mm.
It's like the sour candy. Well, my girlfriend comes back with a giant tube of it. And it's like, I don't know, it's like 2 feet long or something. And it's full of that toxic waste candy, that sour candy that my kids love. And we're going to have an Easter egg hunt. She's like, let's do it outside. And then I was like, let's go over to this area that we like playing in. And it's kind of across the parking lot or whatever. And I say, give me that toxic waste thing. She's like, where are you going to put it? And I was like, I'm going to climb it and put it up in the tree. She's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, give me it. I'm going to climb up there. And she's like, the kids are going to find it. And I was like, they love this fucking tree. It's this pine tree. And my youngest, he collects all these pine cones and brings them in and does stuff with them or whatever. And then the older one loves climbing that thing. And she's like, well, are they going to find it? And I was like, yes, I can't express to you how much they love this fucking tree. So I get up there and I start climbing it. And I get a decent amount up there. And I look and like my neighbor is just watching me. And I'm just trying to think, what is going on in her head right now? I have this tube thing. She probably has no idea what it is. And I'm setting it up in this like weird public tree. And then I'm looking back and forth to her and she's just watching me, staring at me out on like her sidewalk. Every neighborhood I feel like has this neighbor who's always watching outside.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes it irritates the shit out of me, but also other times I'm like, they're kind of protecting the community. They're kind of like a honorary officer.
Yeah.
But And she's just staring at me. And I'm just like, I got to address this, right? I can't just get out of the tree, leave it up there and walk away. Who knows if you're going to call the cops? The bomb squad are going to think it's a fucking IED up there. And I'm going to go to jail for terrorism. It says toxic on it. So I'm up there and I'm just like, oh, hey. She's like, hey. And then just kind of like waiting, like, okay. And I'm like, oh, I'm just setting up an Easter egg hunt. And it's like, oh, okay, that's fun. So I think she put down her phone and hit, no, it's all good. And so whatever, climb down, have the kids come around there. And yeah, my oldest spotted it, was like, what is that up there? He didn't even know it was related. I was like, I don't know, go up there and grab it. He's like, all right. And then he
Now,
went
how
up
big was this thing? Because my niece had like a giant Laffy Taffy container filled with like a whole bunch of Laffy. It's like almost like a pill shape, and it was gigantic.
Yeah,
Does it
this one
sound
was like
that.
it was like cylinder, flat on the ends, and it had to be about, I'm thinking like 2 feet long.
So is this a new thing that they do that? Because I don't remember these giant candies growing up as a kid full of candy.
Or just our parents didn't love us as much.
That's probably more accurate, actually.
They said, no,
Oh.
get up. No, you want to know why?
Not as big as I thought, but still.
Oh, it might have been around that size though. Yeah. It was like the same concept. And well, because of my sweet tooth, my dad knew that's an addict. So
yeah, that's true.
You can't be giving me that. Yeah, I was going to try to find a picture. I don't know if you're able to see this at all. It's up
yeah.
It's like up here.
Yeah, I can see it.
I'll watch I accidentally scan over to a dick pic.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a little bit close. So that's a zoom.
Yeah. Same concept.
And I had to put this stick in front of it. I'm like, hand me a stick, because I wanted to wedge it up there and kind of make sure it stayed up there. And well, whatever. He went up there and he me like, what's that? And it was just pretty cool. I guess it was a cool little Easter egg hunt. I'm wanting to spice it up. Like my girlfriend, she's so good at everything, and I'm not. But then taking shit an extra 10%, call me in. She's like, I got this out. I got the right eggs. I got the right candies, the toys, everything. Let's just spice it up a little bit. And I'm like, give me it. And then climb up the tree, rent a cherry picker, kid called the police on whatever it is. Okay. Number 1.
Easter Day hump.
Sort of. I asked my girlfriend if we could talk about this on the show. She said, yeah. Get out of my face. No, she just said, yeah. And it's a relationship. Let's talk about relationships, So, and I always say that like trashy people will talk about their sex life or whatever, but if nobody's talking about their sex life, how does anybody know what's going on, We had a night where I got a little bit of Molly.
Okay.
And
that's a good start to a story.
Not my ex, not my first love, Molly, the drug. And the key is to not take too much, just enough where you're not, the next day, you're not like, oh my God, who am I? What am I? Anxiety attack for 3 days. Just take enough, spice it up. The amount of chemical, it's artificial. The amount of chemicals you get when you're doing something, whether you're having so much fun, it's just that is artificially created or amplified, however it is, whatever the mechanism is. So we just had a me and her night. And it's not like a date night. It's just like a sex night. A date night ends in sex. Like, oh, you go out to dinner, you do this, it sets up and it ends in sex. I say, no, the whole thing is surrounded around sex. Okay. And she says, deal. we have this every once in a while. So whatever, a little bit of Molly, and then she'll put on a little outfit. I prefer a push-up bra that increases 2 cup sizes, but that's just me personally.
Like a bombshell type bra?
Yes. Bomb, like Czar Bomba bombshell bra. She says, what bra do you want me to put on? I say the 50 megaton one. And she says, gotcha.
Because you buy your push-up bras in military metrics.
Because a cousin Frank had taught me. I know a little bit about the military. Cousin Frank, he was a cannoneer. Was he in the military, or he dealt with artillery?
Yeah,
I can't remember.
An early adopter of cannon fodder. Or yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Heavy artillery.
Yes. And so I like the terminology now. And whatever little thong panty. It's funny. I don't know if other relationships had this, but there's always a little thing, or maybe how you kiss your significant other where you can tell they want to have sex. There's some kind of indicator. I bring it back to Curb Your Enthusiasm. Once Larry starts kissing Cheryl a little bit, she's like, whoa, what are you doing? She knew immediately how he kissed her that he wanted to have sex. I know if my girlfriend is wearing a certain panty that I know she wants to have sex.
Okay.
And if I look and I see it's on, I know, and I just got to hope that I didn't masturbate earlier that day. Okay. So there's a little bit of rolling of the dice involved.
There's a risk there, man.
But I can never use that as an excuse. I masturbated earlier. It would ruin the relationship because she wants it, she gets it. But, or if she's ever walking around the house in her underwear, that's my dead giveaway. She'll only do that for that reason.
Now, Kristen would counter that every time I kiss her, trying to have it end in sex. So
I think that's actually a part of Curb Your Enthusiasm too. That they can't snuggle because every snuggle leads to sex or something. Damn, you're savage, James.
Well, she travels, she's here less, she works a lot, so it's not like we're interacting 10 hours a day.
I got it. You're getting everything in right then and there. Boom.
Yeah, it's a little different.
And also there's this self tanner that she's been using that immediately,
like a lotion or a spray.
It's a lotion, and it makes her look like she's been working out every day for a month.
Does she like it?
Yeah.
Send me the link. I'll get it for Kristen.
Okay. Yeah, it's good. It doesn't look like a fake one.
Yeah.
It's just she's gonna smell like coconuts, which is if you're okay with that. It's kind of a tropical.
Someone yesterday, I was randomly in UPS store, and I asked him. So a restaurant came up to try a dessert there, and the guy I'm like, what restaurant was that? The guy behind me in line says, make sure you try the coconut pie. It's amazing.
Such random interaction. I love it.
So.
And are you going to?
Oh, I'll be heading there. Oh yeah.
And then if it's bad, do you go back in there?
She was a really nice lady who was running the register that day.
Okay.
I wouldn't like, you know what, you fucked up. That she recommended actually a different piece of pie. Damn it, I'm drawing a blank on. I'll know it when I see it there, but I'm drawing a blank on the name of it. It was kind of random. Anyway, I don't want to.
So a Nutella pie. So if you will take her the half-eaten piece of pie back to UPS, and then she says, "What address do I send this to?" And you say your address.
I like that.
Package her up in her address and send it to her.
I like that. I wish
God,
now.
that's fucked up. I'm sorry.
It'd be badass if I knew her address, and I'm like, "Oh, here, it's on my phone," and I slide it and show it to her. She's like, "Okay," and she's like, "Wait a minute," because she'd probably get through like a little bit of it before she recognizes it's her address.
That whole moment where your brain starts to connect, right? That tiny window is just
fantastic. Yeah, it is.
And then when she looks up, what do? Do you wink at her or do you just walk away? I mean, you're getting the cops called on you either way.
The walk away is probably scarier and would definitely result in calling the cops.
Oh my God, yes.
If I wink and say, "I'm just fucking with you," there's still a chance that I could probably get out of it. It kind of goes back to you can do anything if you have the right tone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in one Eminem song where he's ripping on women, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I'm just playing, ladies. You know, I love you." Negates the entire rip song. It's for entertainment value. I think it's Superman actually.
That's like a variation of no homo.
Exactly.
Like you do everything. Yeah. No homo. Bam.
You know, another one is like, hey, not trying to be mean here, but I'm about to rip you to shreds and be mean as fuck towards you.
Not to be disrespectful. Don't
Just
say whatever you're gonna say next.
right, because you're about to disrespect me. You literally are.
So back to the longest episode in Customizable Portion in a long time. We're having too much fun. And then, so the self tanner, the push-up bra with the 50 megatons, the yellow and orange panties that I like. And then I'm just like, I don't know what made me think of it, but I looked at her and I was like, go throw on a little piece of jewelry. Like, so she brings me back this spread of jewelry, and I have her put on the most gaudy, bedazzled necklace. So she's walking around the house like this with this big, I don't know if it was Egyptian, like some Cleopatra, whatever, but I liked it because it was like classy. No, actually it wasn't classy, but whatever. I don't know how I would describe it. So then our thing, and hey, this is a Paul hack.
So for context here, because I'm more of an early person, is this 2 p.m.? Is it 10 p.m.?
Beautiful question. Here's the other thing. If you're going to take something, if you're going to be trashy like me and use drugs, you got, especially you get older, you have kids, you got to just once in a while and in the proper circumstances. You don't do too much and you do it early. You don't want you got shit to do the next day. What I learned when I got older is that everybody is an alcoholic. They just drink earlier.
True.
And they drink a little bit less.
Yeah.
So
and you were always the master at rationing out drug use. Like you rarely overdid it.
Yeah, and now they have a term and acting like it's a new thing called microdosing. I'm like, that's Paul dosing. I trademarked that. What the hell?
Correct. Decades ago.
I lose out, you know.
I macro dose. That's why I had to stop doing drugs.
Everything you get is one dose.
It's excessive. Like, you know, like in gambling, you have like units. Like a micro doser's unit may be a quarter. Macro dose might be 4. Like I'm beginning at a higher rate, and then I'm trying to redline it and sustain it. And then I'm hitting that cliff at full speed and it's straight down.
All right.
To each their own. I mean, listen, your way sounds smarter than my way.
No, my way's dumber.
Anymore.
My way's dumber because I'm still doing it. You're not.
See, that's beauty of the beholder thing. I'm like, man, I wish I could just. This happened to me recently. I'm like, I wish I could just do a little bit of whatever drug I said doesn't matter. And I'm like, man, like just a little. And like, oh, like not excessive, not putting your body at risk or your health at risk. Just like, oh, like a little amped up fun occasionally. I just thought this through the other day, and I'm like, you know, I went too hard.
Well, mine, I'm sitting there, I'm talking about it on a show. My kids are going to get taken away now. People are going to judge me. I had to think about before talking about this, but whatever. So bedazzled necklace, Tanner brought whatever. Here's the one thing that we will like to do, and I recommend everybody to get, is oil, baby oil, or whatever kind of oil you have for massaging. It's not only the ultimate massage, but it's also an indicator that, hey, it's serious. It's game time. You know, there's casual sex, but you know, certain indicators will be like, all right, it's serious now. It's game time. Bruce Buffer is announcing right now. Once we start putting oil on us, we know the heart rate starts going up. You hold. All right. What's that? Oh, wait, is your microphone off?
Oh, my bad. So the oil, is it edible? Is it safe for body parts, or is it just more about lubing up the skin and kind of doing some touching and rubbing?
So we have a couple others. We have an edible one, but the one I'm talking about is not, it's a baby oil. It's not edible, and it's not a one that I think you want to use for
Okay.
other stuff. So I will say, when we're doing it, I'll say keep it off the genitalia for this type of oil. Even though it does feel better, it leads to the sexual uh, interaction posing some difficulty. But sometimes when we finish, I'll finish with oil, but whatever, that wasn't this night.
Okay.
But you got to set something down too. You got to set. So we happen to just, it's usually on the floor, set down some kind of towel blanket or whatever, but this time was on a sheet on top on the bed, but it still sopped, whatever. I think I was a little more liberal. I wasn't just pouring it. I was feeling a little saucy, where it was kind of like a little, like an abstract artist, kind of with the limp wrist. And so it kind
Yeah.
of got everywhere.
You kind of went Jackson Pollock,
Paul Pollock. Okay.
just flinging it, with like really not reckless, like more of contained abandon, like because you're creating a masterpiece.
Yeah. It
wasn't reckless.
It was my canvas, and a little bit too much went down in the comforter, had to wash it the next day. But the massaging aspect of it is so good. It's just deep.
Yeah.
It feels great, especially when you got some Molly in you, maybe some drinks. It's like, oh my God. It's dangerous though, because you'll want to repeat it. You got to come back down to earth and have a normal life.
I'm taking notes here, actually. This is good.
But there's another difficulty, and that is once you go to the bathroom and back and forth, we have hardwood floors outside the room. So it's slippery.
Oh, yeah.
And it reminds me of, if you've ever watched Along Came Polly, it's with Ben Stiller and I think Jennifer Aniston. But Philip Seymour Hoffman, do you know who that is?
He's dead, yes.
Yes. I know you knew who he was. He walks into the wedding like, oh, here comes the best man. And right when he hits the floors, he completely dives on his ass. That's what will happen to you with this oil on the floor. And I know this because I watched it happen to my kids when they came back over the next day. And it felt kind of weird when they're like, oh, they're running. Hey, Dad, boom, and just wipe out. They're like, oh, the floor, something's on the floor. Then you're just like, yeah, it's oil, but it's like the sexual experience. And then the kids are falling it. You're like, making this weird connection. Like now we scrub afterward. So you got to do a little bit of work afterward.
You made us like, because you're coming out, just hire a cleaner to come in. Like, no, just do the floors.
Dude, that's sex. The sex was so great. We had to hire a cleaner the next day to come in and fumigate the place. And guys, rip out the carpet, put new they're like, oh, they're remodeling in there. No, sex got out of control last night. Neighbors are like, oh shit.
With Kristen's work travel, she has like 250,000 Marriott points. So we could really outsource the cleanup to the hotel staff if we wanted to.
See, that's next level. This is standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay. So the oil, we're sitting there and I'm like, get some candles. Let's light some candles. Let's get some lighting. Oh, you going to ask me what time of day it was? We probably started at 5 p.m.
Yeah, that's a good time.
I wanted to start a little bit earlier, actually, but then we kind of shut the blinds. Sun started going down. I'm like, get some candles. And she's like, all right. She grabs like one or two. I'm like, get all of them. Make it like a fucking Ouija board seance in here. Get them lit all over the place. She's like, hell yeah. Chicks love candles. So she's like, oh yeah.
It's like the character in the Silence of the Lambs, like the red dragon one, where he has like That's where my mind went immediately. All the candles and like,
I,
obviously not nearly as dark.
and it got as dark. She's missing a piece of her body now. So, but I'm not going to say which. It was a finger. It was like Ronnie Lott, but
Did she finish the game like Ronnie Lott did?
So here's the thing. When a girl gets too drunk or has drugs, it's harder for them to finish.
Yes.
And we just went over the line. We pay attention to this. She can tell once we start kind of messing around more specifically to that area. So she wasn't able to finish.
It also affects, female lubrication too. If
Yes.
they're at a certain point, there's a sweet spot, man, with everything.
It's a sweet science, definitely. And we had just went the tiniest bit too much. We were right there, but let me get back. We got the candles going. The sheets on there were oiling each other, deep tissue massage. And then when you're doing that kind of drug, you not only love being touched, you love touching. So it's like a best of both worlds. We're like, no, you want to give. No, I want to give. What do you think we have playing on the TV?
Planet Earth.
That's a hilariously great guess. No, it has to do with comedy. And I'm being serious. This isn't a joke.
Is it a TV show or like a comedy movie, or is it
not a TV show?
Is it a stand-up comedy performance?
Yes.
My joke went to Raw by Eddie Murphy.
And that's a good ass guess.
Fuck. So some kind of stand-up comedy. You mentioned Sebastian Maniscalco recently. I'm gonna guess him.
That's a good guess. It was Joe Coy.
Okay.
Filipino stand-up comic. It's funny because it just depends on the interaction, whether you want it to be serious, intense. I kind of like it, but it depends on the time. Playful and intense, and this back and forth of going in and out of it. But it set a nice, playful tune.
Was he muted or was he?
No, full-blown stand-up. He had 2 stand-ups. We might have watched them both that were on Netflix at the time.
Because there's down moments during a night like that.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, that's in my experience.
Yeah. And you're in and out, whatever. Somebody's got to go to the bathroom. This isn't 20 minutes. This is hours. Right. Hours.
Yeah.
Like 5 hours. Okay. And so that's the scene. This Joe Coy playing in the background. But then once it got time for the intensity to up, I turned off the TV, put a little like YouTube music on
or something. Yeah.
And then put the computer cover over. So it's dark. It's a little dark. So it's just that right amount of lighting, whatever amount of lighting you want.
I have one more follow-up question for you.
Okay, because I have something else to say too.
Okay. Is there a massage oil that also creates a little bit of heat?
Say that again?
A massage oil that also creates heat.
Yeah, we used to call it motion lotion back in the day. I don't know if that still exists. You used to get it from like Lover's Lane. So there has to be now. I mean, I don't know if I'd have to look at the one she bought if it has it.
No, like I started searching it. It's a pretty big search. Awaken Arousal Oil by Foria.
Okay. And we'll give our top 5 arousal oils on the next episode if they like.
I'm on a mission to try every warming oil over the next year, and I plan on writing a book about it.
So what I think what a great show leads to is like a great scientific experiment. And that is, it has more questions than answers. So when you are after this show, you're like, oh damn, what's this shoe bill look like? Oh, you're gonna see what happened next in the Harvey Weinstein, Rose McGowan, Ben Affleck.
First of all, not only has it raised questions, it's created a lot of stuff for me to do.
Actually, that might be. Is that good or bad?
There's a sweet spot for this too. So I won't know until I start diving in if I've bit off more than I can chew.
And because you now have to hope. Well, if somebody sends it to you, the Chris Rock stand up, or that.
And there's a time.
I'm sorry, not Chris Rock, Kevin Hart.
There's a timing thing too. Like if Kristen hears this section of the pod and then I have oil in 3 days, it might be too close to the experience.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
There's a timing thing here as well. I'll come back to it at some point.
Okay.
With less detail and a shorter version.
And
less entertaining. I apologize.
Oh. So then it leads to what kind of more intercourse encounter are we going to have? And it was, I don't want to say rape. No, I don't. It was light resistance. Or do people say resistance light, like LIT? Like light now is LIT, like Nintendo Switch Lite that my kids has. Like light is used after the word now.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was resistance light, where she's kind of, she does want it. It has been agreed upon beforehand, but during the act, she's acting like she kind of doesn't want it. And maybe she's trying to get away. She doesn't yell help. I don't like how silent you are right now. She doesn't yell help.
Well, I don't know if you were pausing there for me to respond or if you had just pausing for effect, you had more to go.
I don't know. I haven't told anyone this story. So I was kind of seeing where I went too. And this isn't the first time. It just first time saying it on the podcast, I think, while sober.
Listen, everything you're saying here, I hear nothing inappropriate or wrong thus far. So I think you're good, man, so far.
Because we discussed a couple different ways where, what can we do? What are we interested in? Do we want to try out new stuff? It's a perfect time to try out new stuff. And or stuff you only do once in a while, like people say vacation anal or whatnot, or maybe it's just I say that. It's more of a tropical anal, I guess. You wouldn't necessarily do it on a camping trip, but I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry. We start discussing some different stuff. Like one of the discussions was sleep sex. That's a little, like, I'm not going to lie. It sounds a little rapey and everything, but it's not. Whatever, man, as long as people consent, I guess it's good.
Dude, what was it? The sexual proclivity? Is that the phrase?
That's a good word. I got
to your own, man. And like how it goes with everything is you start experimenting with certain things. It's really, there's an infinite possibilities of what can occur next.
And it could change over time. It's like taste buds. I'll retry foods every couple of years. And sometimes my mouth just needs something new, a taste that's new. And I'm like, oh, wow. Or maybe it changed where that flavor I didn't like as much is incorporated with something else.
Yeah.
But you have to try these new things. All I can think about is the first time I ever tried dragon fruit overseas. But I don't know why that's coming up. I didn't try dragon sex. She's never dressed up as a dragon for me. I can say that. But yeah, that's what it would lead to. Resistance, her kind of trying to get away. And I had to use, could you imagine if I would have got hurt?
Is that how Till got hurt?
He was
You
doing a
know,
little resistance play.
he should have stopped at 3 hours there until he tried going 4 to 5 and then just that boom, tweaked, done.
Especially if your girl is like stronger, she trains. You have to start. See, my girl, she's untrained. She's in shape and everything, but I don't have to incorporate a guard pass. I don't have to throw hooks on her. I can kind of manhandle her. But I mean, she's not resisting full blast. It might eventually lead to that. It was probably 30% of her output. And
That's a solid range.
see, if I would have got too messed up, took too much, I would have been like, fight for your life.
That's if you do another half pill and one more double IPA.
That's true. Eventually, here, do it while holding this knife and try to get me. Like, shit can just go too far.
Well,
I'll keep it. That's why I say resistance light, not resistance X.
There is a risk of that, because let's say it becomes a norm, whatever you're doing, then it's like, all right, now this is losing its, I'm becoming desensitized to it. What's next down the line? So that's how people end up suffocating themselves while having sex.
That's
not their first time doing it. They've progressed to that over time.
That's happened. I know someone who's died from that. I've incorporated that. Not that by myself. Usually it's the guys like themselves hanging themselves and end up happening. That I haven't done it by myself. Incorporate it into things, but you're right. You have to be careful. Yeah. You got to be able to chill back out and be able to go back to a regular home life too, where you're cleaning the dishes and shit and saying, hey, and watching a nice, wholesome, TV show together.
Let's tie in MMA, like if a fighter goes all in and they're throwing bombs relentlessly without any pullback, they're going to gas out. They might get a finish though too. It may end well, but it may not end so well either. There's just a greater risk.
And their career is going to be shortened. That's why you need to go GSP. You have to involve some lay and pray.
Correct.
Okay. Let me just say this. We can end on this. We had to go, and you had to take a shower after this. You are oiled up. It's ridiculous. It would get everywhere. You have to take a shower, heavy scrubbing. So we took a shower, came in the bedroom. She fell asleep. And then I just played Rocket League.
What is that?
It's a game that is on my kids' Nintendo Switch that I'll play. And I'm almost embarrassed saying it right now because I'm an adult. And it is a game where cars play soccer.
Okay.
And you're playing against people. You're playing against people online. I think it says you are. And I may or may not actually play in tournaments.
With 9-year-olds? I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, it's all about how much you play. It doesn't matter what age you are.
Hey man, these Koreans are good. I actually don't know if they're playing or not. I don't know who's on the other end. I always think I am the oldest guy playing though.
Yeah.
So if anyone were to ever ask my age, I'm saying 11 or I'm saying well, it's under Braxton. So I'll just say I'm Braxton. I'm 9. Fuck you.
But hang on. Can you be online and say you're a kid?
Just to be safe, like I never have. I don't know if you can. That could lead to somebody looking into you and trying to extort you. Not extort, but try to pressure you to do some stuff and then get arrested.
Yeah, I wonder if that's illegal to perpetrate a minor.
What if I play Rocket League? I'd never talk to anybody. I a lot of times mute them because I don't want to hear what people have to say because it always ends in disappointment. Except like close friends and family. But I'll just play as him. It says Braxton. Am I a sex offender now for playing Rocket League under my son's name? Do I have to register?
They just seem like an offenders list without the sex. It's like a prequel.
Sex offenders light?
Because like, where does it go? Like you start perpetrating a 9-year-old. What's next?
Foreplay offenders? Oh, what's next? This is a downhill effect for me. I'm playing Rocket League as my son.
It's a gateway, man.
Now I'm having sex with my son's friends.
Oh my God. This is a gateway crime.
Well, I wish someone would have warned me. I'm out the game, man. Couldn't brother Mark have warned me? Like, no, don't get into that Rocket League, man. It's just going to lead bad places.
Brother Mark should have warned you.
Yeah, but he's a sex offender himself.
Correct.
Playing. Well, no, WoW is only with men over 30, right? I guess that's what I have to play. So whatever, start me up a username or something, Mark. I guess I got to start practicing. I want to play games, but I don't want to get on a list. I want to be able to come within 500 feet of my kid's school. I got to pick them up.
So we have an ATF agent living in our subdivision.
And you're here warn him about me?
She was here when we got here. But it makes me a little bit more like, all right, and I'm on Pornhub, like, hang on, which video is there? And I'm like, are all these videos registered? They're all legal? Like, which video is safe or not safe to click on? It has me thinking through different things that I never thought through before.
Oh my God. You're like over 18 porn. Certified porn.
It's like, oh, stepdad, stepdaughter. Now babysitter, let me pass on this one.
Oh, that's your jam too. Or it was.
Well, I had to pull back.
Because
now I just search couples in love and lovemaking.
All because of an ATF agent living in your community?
Well, the fearful of just, where's the slippery slope end? Is it a slippery slope? If I'm watching this now, what do I want to watch in 2 months? Then what do I want to watch in a year? Then what? Like, what comes next? I had to pull back, and it's just like missionary, people in love, only porn I watch these days, most of the time.
Maybe this is a wake-up call for me. I need to only do missionary. No, I'm pouring out the oil in the toilet. She's going to be like, what are you doing? As I'm squeezing it down the toilet. And I'm like, it's gone too far. And I'm going to squeeze all the self tanner down there. I'm pouring all the Molly in there. And
yeah,
I'm going to have to delete Rocket League. And what am I allowed to search on porn now?
Just consenting adults.
That's my.
Is that even a porn? Let me actually do a test run here.
We're looking it up. This show is never going to end. But I am on Pornhub. Consenting adults.
Pornhub is listening to our conversation because the top 2 videos, number 1 is my creepy roommate fuck. And the next one is fitness model Adria Fox takes it up the ass like a good little anal.
Mine says consensual sex between 2 of-age adults for fun and relaxation. And then the next one says adult nursing relationship compilation, clips and pictures of button and tip.
You know, when you start searching on there, usually like you can type in like a few letters and things pop up as options. I'm actually not getting that today, but no one's ever searched consenting adults on here. Or maybe it's like the person who's like 100% against porn, but then they're drawn to it and they break down and they can't abstain any longer. They're like, okay, like what's like a good starting porn? Consenting adults.
Here's another one. Mommy puts Poppy to bed.
Yeah, no, these aren't too good, man. I got to change out my search.
Yeah, I'm going to need.
I mean, Paul, what's your take on this one?
Let's say consensual adults. Okay, go ahead.
Sensual breastfeeding session with passionate, lactating young MILF.
Sounds like a good time to me. Am I allowed to click on that video? I need a verification process. I need someone else to verify what I can watch.
Yeah, I think sensual, you're safe, man. Because, like, Dads don't have sensual sex with the babysitter. So, or the stepdaughter. So if you go sensual, you are playing in uh a safe category, 100% sure.
Okay.
Let me just
Okay.
do a few searches, just or scan through real quick. Yeah, I think you're good, man.
And then just missionary. So sensual or consensual missionary, and then I'll be on the road to heaven and not have to lead a life of crime, is what you're saying.
Yes, just but you know what? You got to use a second layer of judgment here because so I have sensual in here, and then this pops up: massage rooms, sensual tantric threesome. That one I cannot give the green light on. It's iffy.
You can't do because the massage thing, they had that massage parlor incident in Atlanta recently too.
That's right.
So this
And
is
Bob Kraft or the Patriots also had a massage parlor thing going down. So if you see the word massage, I'm just saying tread lightly.
Kraft with a K or a C?
I think K, but
Because
that's
I'm looking up Bob Kraft in Pornhub.
I think it's I think he's owner of Kraft Foods.
Yeah, there's nothing on here with him.
He's safe then, isn't he?
It's a lot of the first four are videos by this couple, Adolf and Nika.
Oh yeah, I'm getting the same search as you. Nice boobs.
There you go. That's so. Can I search Bob Kraft also? They'd be like, Your Honor, or ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the key word is Bob Kraft. How could he have had any intent of searching that into the search, putting that into the search bar?
Now there's a video here from Adolf and Nika, and she's bent over doggy style. His hands are on her neck.
I need
No,
headless porn. I need no choking.
Sam, just be careful. Use a second and third layer of judgment just to make sure you're in the clear.
I just can't watch porn anymore, huh?
That's the safest bet. Correct. Got to go back to magazines.
Man. All right. Well, that's all I got, man.
Let's get the fuck out of here.